Hello, and welcome to Relevant Currency, where the only currency that is relevant is our connection to the people. I am your host, Andres Mendoza. Today we will be touching on the importance of taking care of self, and what we need to know that the regular school system cannot or will not teach us. But first, our 52-second news minute. This month marks the 1-year anniversary of the 43 students that were kidnapped from Iguala, Mexico. The official story at the time was that the students were taken by a corrupt police force and handed over to the cartels to be disposed of and burned. However, after an independent investigation launched by the 43 students' parents, dubbed ayotzinapa, the conclusion was that the students could not have been burned to ashes by a mere trash fire. Also, more info has come to light that suggests that students were being tracked long before they entered the city of Iguala. With this official story being dismissed by the independent investigation, more of the same questions rise up. What happened to the 43 students from Ayotzinapa, Mexico? Also, last month, a tragic Three Stooges moment happened when the EPA, quote-unquote, accidentally polluted millions of gallons of water via the Animas River with their quote-unquote accidental breakage in a retaining wall of an old abandoned gold mine in Colorado, effectively sending 3 million gallons of contaminated water containing mercury, arsenic, lead, and much more to hundreds of thousands of people's drinking water from Colorado, Navajo, New Mexico, Texas, and countless more down in Mexico. Recently, the Navajo Nation's president, Mr. Russell Begay, quoted saying that he has received no word at all from the President Obama up to this point. And with the head of the EPA giving no more than an oops and a we're sorry. Now, what happens when a government agency created to protect the environment can do so much damage and they be completely out of sight a month later? I ask you. And now the importance of taking care of self. What we need to know in this day and time is that there are 4 aspects to being a human being. We have a physical aspect, that what you see. We have a mental aspect, that what you think. We have an emotional aspect, that what you feel. And we have a spiritual aspect, that what you are. Now, today we have to actively maintain these 4 aspects, because once you're maintaining one aspect, a lot of times the other aspects seem to get unbalanced, right? We stop focusing, we stop paying attention to them, right? You're working out every day, you're working your physical aspect out. Okay, how's your emotional state? Well, maybe it's better because you're working out. How's your mental state? Again, maybe it's better. Your spiritual state, right? But again, what happens today is that we're not taught on how to take care of any of our emotions, any of our mental thoughts, any of our spirit, right? And a lot of us come from the church, but the church doesn't help us with our spiritual body or our spiritual moment. Okay? So what happens is when, let's say for emotions, when we're not able to take care of our emotions, then we always feel that something's in lack. There's something missing. Right? And if I'm an advertiser for a company, I play on that. I go, oh, you're feeling lonely? You're feeling sad? You're feeling depressed? Well, hey, check this out. Check this phone. See how all the people are happy in the commercial. See how you see everybody together and stuff like that. You get this phone, you'll feel this. You'll do this. You'll be this, right? And you'll be like, yeah, I want that. All right, cool. So what are you going to go ahead and do? Well, you're going to get the new phone, right? So you're happy for a day or two, but then what begins to happen? You begin to go back to the same emotional state. Now, why is that? It's because the phone is not helping your root problem, your root issue. Right? Because there's nothing outside of you that's going to help you take care of your emotional state. It's not going to take care of it by itself. Things may help, but a new phone is not going to help you be happy, right? New clothes, new cars, new shoes, right? It's superficial happiness. It's skin deep, okay? But the underlying root is not being taken care of, right? And again, if I'm an advertiser, I play on this. Oh, this didn't work for you? Well, try this. All right. And so you get something else. And you continue to be in this consumer frame of mind that wants you to consume and consume and consume and buy and buy and buy to make you feel that void that's inside of you. When if you just help take care of your own emotions and work out your own emotional baggage, then you'll be in a much better place than you are right now. Okay, I a lot of times I talk in my classes about the 4 aspects being equated to the 4 tires in your vehicle. Now, what happens when you don't take care of one of your tires? Well, you know, it starts to get damaged, and then you'll deflate it. It gets flat, right? Now, what happens? Can you run on a flat tire? Well, technically, yeah. You know, you got to run it flat. You know, you can go on the rim for a while. You know, but after miles and miles of running on a flat tire, what begins to happen? You begin to destroy your car. You destroy the rim first. You destroy the brakes. You destroy the suspension, the axle, the alignment. You name it. You total your vehicle the more and more you drive on an empty tire. On a flat tire, right? Now, how many of us are running on a flat tire? How many of us are not taking care of our physical state, our physical body? How many of us are not taking care of our emotions, our thought process, our spirit? You know, in this society, many people are not taking care of any one of them, right? So what happens when you don't take care of your emotional state? Excuse me, what happens when you don't take care of your physical state, right? Maybe that burger from McDonald's is not going to hurt you now. Well, after years and years, 10 years of eating that same burger, what's going to end up happening to your body? You're going to create problems, right? Obesity, diabetes, cancer, you name it, right? Just for not taking care of your physical body. Now, one thing I want to touch on is our emotions. I'm a young Chicano male, so I'm gonna speak in my terms. In our families, when we're growing up in Central South American families, what tends to happen, you know, with women too, but I'm speaking to the men right now. What tends to happen? Well, we're told to bottle up our emotions. We're taught as a young child to man up, to not cry, to not show emotion, to do this, to do that. You know, we're taught by our older heads to be strong, to not be soft, you know, not to talk about things. Keep it to yourself. So as a young child, we're taught to bottle things up instead of expressing them and getting them out. So when we're taught to bottle things up, what begins to happen? The pressure starts to rise. Now, once the pressure gets too much, what happens after that? Well, we self-destruct, right? And being a young man, I can understand this completely, right? Now, what happens in this society when we self-destruct? We get caught up in a system that only cares about us as slave labor. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. When we go through our lives, we obtain all this emotional baggage from other people, especially the adults around us. Okay, so when we're going throughout our life, and let's say you know you don't have any food in the home, the parents are abusive to each other, the parents are abusive to you. You know, whatever the parents aren't there, you know, whatever it may be, whatever your situation is, and you start to bottle up all these emotions, right? And you don't have the language, you don't have the experience and the historical context to what happens with our families in the society. You don't have anything to articulate what's going on with you. So the only way to deal with it is to put it away, to ignore it, right? And so after years of this happening, and let's say you go to school one day, and then all of a sudden, you know, your teacher bags on you for something and it triggers you, right? And so what happens when you get triggered? Well, there goes the self-destruction. So let's say you knock the teacher out. Now, the problem with this is your school has a zero tolerance policy for violence. So once you knock the teacher out, bam, you're expelled. That's it. Nothing can be done. You know, no questions asked, right? And then you go to court. In the court, the judge looks at your permanent record. Oh, you've been expelled. You've been suspended. You've been detained. You know, okay, we're gonna send you to camp. Okay, so what happens when you get sent to camp at a young age is that becomes your example for living your life. The politics and the power plays that are done in camp and juvie and prison become your only reality for how to experience life. Now, when you come to the outside and you don't know it's different, but it's different, right? And you think everything's done on power and respect, and you live your life like that, what begins to happen is you start to get caught up for little things too, right? Now, next time you get caught up for tagging, or you get caught up for being on probation and smoking some weed, whatever, right? So you get caught up again, then you get recycled back into the same system. The court looks at your record. Oh, you've been to camp. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you to juvie now, right? And juvie now reinforces that example of power plays and politics that were done in camp, right? So now even more your mind is thinking and your emotions are experiencing and your body is experiencing this state of being always on edge, always needing respect, always needing this, always needing that, right? And having everything else provided for you. So again, you come out to the outside world and you have no way to you have no way to know how to pay bills, how to get a job, how to do this, how to do that. So what ends up happening is that you end up going back to what you know, right? You end up doing things subconsciously that you don't necessarily want to do, but it just comes out. And see, the court system and the prison system prey on that. Okay, they prey on that because why? If I'm a CO making $70,000 to $100,000 a year, do you think I want less people in the prison? Hell nah, because that means I'm gonna get less money, less hours. I want more people in prison. Next time I want you to come back, but I want you to come back with a friend. Okay, they make $70,000 a year off of you just being in there, and that's not the labor that you put in either. So it's all about money. So by you not being able to take care of your emotional state, you self-destruct, and then you get caught up in a system that's only using you for your slave labor. Okay. So now, with that being said, I want to give you 4 things that might help you out. Okay, they might not, they might. Right. First thing is that you got to communicate. You got to communicate with the people around you. You got to tell them what's going on. You have to find the vocabulary. If nobody's teaching you, you got to learn yourself. You got to be able to talk to somebody, talk to an uncle, talk to a cousin, talk to a brother, talk to a sister. And if you don't have anybody in your family that you can talk to, go outside of your family. Go to a counselor, go to a teacher, go to somebody in the community that's doing work that's going to help you out. Okay, because if you don't, you're going to self-destruct. Right? And if you can't talk to nobody yet, write it down. Okay, get a pen, get a paper, get a napkin, get a journal, whatever it is, write it down, write it out. Write out your experience, what you're experiencing right now, so you're not bottling it up. And if you can't write it, draw it. Okay, and if you can't talk, if you can't write, if you can't draw, then bro, go play some handball, dude. You know, go play some basketball, go run, go get something physical, because emotion is nothing more than energy and motion. Okay, and if you're not directing this energy and motion, then it's gonna go to wherever it wants to go, and it's gonna self-destruct itself. Right? So you have to find ways in order to direct this energy that you're feeling inside you. Okay, to get all that anger out, you have to hit something. Go get a martial arts, go into boxing, whatever it is, whatever helps you out. You gotta find something that helps you out. Okay. So with that being said, I want to reiterate that each and every one of you has a purpose on this planet. All right, we need to connect up. We need to get together, because the only currency that is relevant is our connection to the people. So, Tlazocamati, no chan siwa, no chan tlaca, no stinu me kaotzin, and I'll see you again. Tiahui.